Hey guys, welcome back. I'm on the road again. Sorry. So I promised I'd do this review. I'll admit there's not a lot. There's not a lot of stuff that I did prior to seeing Never Hike Alone 2. I did buy some horror movie trivia. Probably can't see it, but I did buy some horror movie trivia over at one of the vendors, so that was cool. And I forgot to mention this last night, but I also bought this like foam finger and a stretchy tongue. They're currently in my pocket. I'm not gonna get them out right now because I'm on the road. But yeah, that was cool. I did go to, I'm pretty sure I already mentioned this, but I went to a few like antique stores. I even went to one in Oskaloosa. But aside from that, while I was waiting for Never Hike Alone 2 to come out, I also passed the time by rewatching the original Never Hike Alone. And I also watched Roseblood, which is another Friday the 13th fan film. That one's actually a fan film that kind of continues the story of Tina Shepard from Part 7, which I had no idea that was a thing until I actually talked with Laura Park Lincoln, the actress who played Tina from Part 7. And she actually came back for that one, and she actually recommended that I watch it. So, short review, that one was great. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, but that's okay because it was still pretty cool. I mean, Laura got to come back and play as Tina. That was great. But onto the main subject about this review, Never Hike Alone 2. That movie was just amazing. Like, calling it a fan film almost takes away the fact of how good it was. Like, I saw the original when it came out, and then I watched the Ghost Cut this morning in preparation to see Never Hike in the Snow as well as Disappear. And like, this one just blew me away. I already knew that like basically the whole thing was just gonna be a showdown between Jason and Tommy Jarvis, which, by the way, I already kind of mentioned this in my other Halloweenapalooza videos. Like, I met Tom Matthews. Dude's a great guy. He signed both of my Jason masks. We even got a few pictures with our matching Jason rings. Like, that guy's all around a pretty cool guy. But this movie kind of like has way more screen time for Jarvis than in the first one. The focus is obviously Tommy. The hiker guy from the original, he does come back for a bit. He does have an integral role. He has an integral role. Integral role to the film. To both films, as a matter of fact. The camera movements and the shots are amazing. Like, this movie really is like Hollywood level. At least that's how I see it. Like, the production value is insane on this. Like, it's really awesome that like this is a fan film, because it really shows like what indie filmmakers and like just film students can do with if they really set their mind to it. And I'm trying so hard not to spoil anything, because it just came out yesterday and it premiered at Halloweenapalooza tonight. Like, I'm literally driving back home after seeing the film. I mean, okay, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but if it is, in my defense, Tom Matthews was the one who told me this yesterday. So screw it, I'm gonna say it. The one detail that I am going to share is that Ricky Colon, aka Rick the Dick from Part 6, he's also in this film. I know he came back in Never Hike in the Snow, but he has a more prominent role in this film as well. And he also meets Jason for the first time. Because like back during Part 6, he technically never met him because like he was locked up in the jail by Tommy. But in this film, he actually does meet Jason, and it's a pretty cool interaction. Also, I don't consider this one a spoiler either. That like I think that there are these cool scenes where like you see Jason kill people, and you see it through the police officers' body cameras, and I think that's just amazing. Like I've already said many times that I just love horror movies when they're shot in the first person, and even though this isn't really first person, it's the next best thing, and I love it. Like it doesn't happen often, but when it does, like I just think it's awesome. What else? The kills themselves, they're pretty gnarly and brutal and amazing. Like the production value definitely went up on this film. I mean, like this one is a feature-length film. It's not like the first movie where it's only 50 minutes long. This one is actually like I think 75 minutes long, maybe a little bit over, but I mean it was definitely worth every minute. Like it was just fantastic. The story itself was written well. I will talk a little bit about that in a minute, but the story was great about how like basically Tommy Jarvis, who is working as a paramedic, he comes face to face with Jason, and he decides to like end basically the curse of Camp Crystal Lake once and for all, and it's just fantastic. Moving a little bit on from like just gushing about this film, there are a few things that I didn't really that I were a bit iffy on. Like I don't know if this is because of where I was watching this, where like at Halloweenapalooza there's this event room called the Long Drink Room, where they had all of the main events, like the Q&As with Tom Matthews and Laura Park Lincoln, Judy, all the celebrities, as well as like all these other events. Like there was a special effects makeup guy who I wanted to see today, but I showed up too late for it. As well as a hypnotist, some singers, a band, a podcast, like all those guys. But we ended up seeing Never Hike Alone 2 in that event room, and right next to the projector screen were these two really big speakers. And I don't know if it's because of those speakers, but sometimes whenever the characters were talking in the film, they came off as like too loud or muffled. And again, I don't know if that was a problem with the speakers. I'm probably gonna end up rewatching the movie on YouTube later tonight or later in the week, so I'll have a definite answer. But what I can say is a problem with the film is there's some humor in this film, which is fine. I mean, Jason Lives is technically the first horror comedy in the series, which is still my favorite, my personal favorite of the series. Like, I think it does horror comedy like the best. I honestly think the horror comedy works better than Evil Dead 2, and the reason why is because I think that the humor in Evil Dead 2, they tried to associate it with the Deadites, and like not the kind of like sadistic dark humor, but like with just slapstick humor that's borderline Three Stooges. And I honestly never really liked that, with associating that with the Deadites, with the things that are trying to kill you. But with Friday the 13th Part 6, at least from what I remember of it, they didn't try to do that. But they do it a little bit here, which, yes, it is funny, but also it also made me take a step back and think, like, well, that kind of just seems over the top. It kind of makes Jason feel like a cartoon, and I never really wanted that for kind of that character. And again, speaking of Rick the Dick, I do feel like there's a couple moments that I feel like too fan servicey, like Ricky's catch line of "ya bang," where he points a gun at someone, and he says that we're like, wherever the red dot goes, you bang, right? I know that they brought that catchphrase back in Never Hike in the Snow, and like to me it felt natural because it felt like a callback to when like Tommy Jarvis said it to him right before he got locked in the jail cell, right? But then in Never Hike Alone 2, he says it, at least the way I saw it, like it felt like he said it every 5 minutes, and especially like when he does meet Jason, like he says it multiple times, and at that point, to me, it just felt forced. Like if he just said it once in the film, I know it's a nitpick. It would have been, I would have been okay with it. Like, it would have been fine. But the fact that he says it so many times in the short span of time that happens, to me, it just feels like it's too fan servicey. Which, like, up till that point, like, they were doing fan service stuff, like, so well in this. Like, I was gonna save this for at the end of the review, but, like, I honestly think that companies such as like Disney should take notes from Womp Stomp Films, because this is how you respect legacy characters and bring them back and like show them the respect they deserve, right? But this is the one part of the fan service that I did not agree with personally. And then the last, there's two more things. One of which, again, not spoiling anything. The only thing that I did spoil was that Rick the Dick meets Jason, and the only reason why I did that is because, again, Tom Matthews told me last night. So there. There is one plot point that, let's just say, it involves Jason's mother that I think is a huge leap in logic for this series. I do understand that the ending of Friday the 13th Part 2 might have hinted at it, but even with that in mind, I feel like this is just a leap in logic for it. But moving on from that, since I can't spoil it, and since I'm not going to spoil it, sorry. The last thing I think is absolutely the fault of the film is that I feel like they're a bit reliant on jump scares. Like, throughout both this film and the first Never Hike Alone, they actually utilize the scares very well, like having Jason in the background, or like having him peer out from behind a tree, or like walk around the forest, or like have a loud noise going on, and then suddenly it stops, implying that Jason killed something in the woods. But here I feel like they used like way more jump scares than they needed, like where like the music just ramps up and constantly until somebody just grabs another person's shoulder. And going hand in hand in that, like, I feel like the jump scares are, a lot of the jump scares are even fake outs, where it's obvious that it's not Jason, where like it shows a bare arm with a plastic blue glove, or it shows, like even in the beginning of the film, like it shows a dream of a younger Tommy Jarvis just fishing at a lake, and then it shows the older one walking up to him, but but the way it's shot is in the way that it shows the older Tommy's shoes and then his pants, and then it shows a bit of a wide shot where it shows like his shoes, pants, and shirt, and then it slowly pans up to his face to make it almost seem like Jason is there, but it's actually Tommy. Except that scare doesn't really work because the shirt that he's wearing is like a blue plaid shirt, and it looks nothing like what Jason would wear. And I feel like the movie was just reliant on like these fake out jump scares way too much, at least for the first half of the film. But all in all, this is a great film. Again, like I said before, Disney should definitely take, companies like Disney should take notes from Womp Stomp Films about like not only bringing back legacy characters for their series, but actually treating them with respect. Because this film, like, if I know that Peacock is doing like a Crystal Lake series, but even if they were never going to make another Friday the 13th film or TV series, like, if I were New Line Cinema or whoever owns the rights to them now, like, I would definitely make this film canon, because this is a perfect send-off to Tommy Jarvis. Like, it just is. Like, again, it's a great way to bring him back as a legacy character, have the story center around him, basically, and, like, be a definitive end to Jason Voorhees. And just, again, a perfect send-off to all the characters involved. And who knows, maybe they will make another one, but right now, as far as I can see, like, these guys just did a fantastic film. That's all I want to say. So if you're a diehard fan of the Friday the 13th series, definitely check this out. Even if you like horror movies in general, like, check it out. And, like, if you love watching, like, people's fan films, like, go ahead and see this one, because, like, this is the best fan film I've seen, period. Like, not just horror movie fan film, just fan film in general. And, like, I'm glad I watched the first one, as well as Roseblood. But yeah, I'm just gonna wrap this up. Great fan film all around, and they set the bar pretty high for fan films in general. But that's it for this review. I know it probably would have made more sense to watch the movie on YouTube last night and then post a review on Friday the 13th, but oh well, I got to see the premiere at Halloweenapalooza. It was great. And yeah, it does suck that there wasn't a lot of stuff that I was very interested in today, but oh well, I got to do most of the things I wanted to do yesterday, so that's good enough for me. And I'll see you guys in the next review, and I'm definitely going to the Halloweenapalooza next year, so look out for that one. And yeah, bye guys.